Hey, good morning, guys. How's everybody doing this morning? Well, we made it to another hump day. See how well we can tackle it. All right, let's see what we got here. So MDR, that's just under my price cutoff. Plus ATR is a little bit below it. So not going to entertain that one right now. CLVS, I think that one reported earnings yesterday after the close, I believe. I didn't get back in time in order to get into any earnings yesterday. That's 2 days in a row. I got back too late from picking my son up to get into any earnings plays. I could have used it yesterday. That's for sure. Let's take a look at CLVS. This one has a pretty good ATR. It's dipped below a gap below the 52-week low here. I don't know why this thing isn't snapping to the right candle. I'll have to manually do it. Sometimes this thing gets ridiculous. So 1560 is our 52-week low. Yeah, it looks like it just gapped down and it's kind of just trading sideways. Not sure if we're going to get any volatility in it this morning. I mean, it's got 156,000 shares traded, but doesn't look like it's making a whole lot of movement. But it does meet the criteria, so, and I do like these 52-week lows. And you got a big window to the upside, and obviously a big window down, so. So we'll see what happens with that one. IQ. It's another one on earnings. Okay, and this seems to be the support that it's working with right now. We got some pretty good resistance up above it. Thinking we can get under this 1990s level, we may have something here. Okay, this one does have potential. Does have potential. Alright, DXR, not in our wheelhouse. Let's see what's up with YNDX. Okay, it reported earnings a couple days ago. Not sure. Must have been an analyst upgrade. Must be some analyst activity that's continuing to drive this. Alright, so we're in this little window here between 27.54 and 29.48. Once we get there, we've got another little window up to the daily 20, which is what, around 30.53. Alright, so we do have some potential in YNDX. Just don't know how much. If there's anything else behind just some analyst activity that's making it move like this. I have to keep my eye on that. I'll go kind of look a little deeper here when we finish. CGC, that one I just dismissed. It's one of the Canadian weed stocks that's been moving up and down and all around. I don't have shares of it to short. And it's been kind of on a downward spiral here the last couple of weeks. So without having shares to short, I just kind of dismiss it. And it seems like SQ hits our scan just about every day. It's like about every day. Let me see if anything special is up with it. anybody's pumping it. Is it Kramer? Yeah, we'll see. Everybody's prediction on this is that it's gonna bounce. So I do not know. Maybe, we'll pull back to this 200 and then it gets a bounce. But it's just been trending down. I don't know, how much strength we're gonna get. We're kind of gapping up here this morning, up into this resistance here. But I guess time will tell, if this thing is going to make it back up to 100. Possible. It's very possible. Let's see, what else do we have up here? Utility stock. FEYE is on earnings. Let's see, FireEye. This one does have a pretty sad ATR. You would expect it to move a little bit better than this. Let's see, let me look at this in a little bit bigger light. Okay, so yesterday the 90 held. We sold through the 200. And so this morning we're gapping up. Excuse me, we're gapping up over the 20. So that just might be our sign. So let's take a look at FEYE. Man. So we kind of held a 90 here. It popped through the 50 and the 200 yesterday. Right now it's gap over the 20. So we're crossing the 20 EMA. So it's one of our classic swing setups. What was it? 1705, I think. Yep, 1705. So what pivots do we have up here? Looks like there's a lot of traffic ahead. So I'm not sure I want to put that on watch. Just kind of a weak watches here. See, BIDU, that's a little bit too higher priced. Sprint is too cheap. We'll take a look at eBay. It's good to see eBay gapping up a bit. It's been taking a hit as well. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough there. Nah. Facebook, this one disappointed a bit yesterday because it just kind of hung around the spot. It tried to get away from it. It tried to trade outside of it. But this was a classic case where we put in a 52-week low on Monday. Tuesday was a nice recovery day. And today, we're continuing to gap up. But we're running into a ton of resistance up here. Man, some of these may be old. I'm just going to clear it. And we'll catch up again here. Alright, so we've got that. We've got that pivot where it pretty much sat on, and this is where it bounced off of yesterday afternoon after the close. So maybe we can get something out of this today. We'll see. But we'll throw Facebook on watch. It's right at our max price, our max price level. So we'll see what's up with that. We checked out IQ, looked at MDR, looked at CLVS. Then the rest of them just don't have enough volume for me to pay attention to. So far we've got CLVS, IQ, YNDX, and Facebook. And that's all I've got right now. What happened to Yum? It got ate up. And it was good. Yum is on earnings. It hasn't had enough volume yet to hit the scans. It's only at 35K. Yep, only 35K. No, for it to be in play, for me, it's got to have at least 50,000 shares traded by 9 o'clock. Then that'll put it in play for me, be on my watch list for the open. Some of these do get volume after the fact, and they'll kick up some volume after the open, and then may give us a secondary move. So that's what I would be looking at on some of these that are reporting earnings or have reported earnings this morning, but it hasn't really picked up any attention. Baidu is a little bit too expensive. It's barely out of my range right now. Next week, I fully intend to, open the range up to $200 stocks. Right now I'm at 175. And I'm for the most part, I'm sticking to my discipline. Yesterday was a little loose day, but we're gonna have those, especially after you've had a really good day. And that was the best day I've had in the small account in a long, long time. So, typically the next day you're gonna be a little loose. Your chest is gonna be stuck out. You're gonna have a lot of adrenaline. You're gonna think dad is back, that type mentality, and then you just start digging a hole for yourself. We see that happen too often. I never focused on small caps. Maybe the first couple of months I started trading, and I realized that's not what I like. So for me, slow and steady wins the race. That's been the secret to my success. Trading the mid plus cap stocks, stocks that have, floats of, over 50 million on up. I left those low price, low float stocks alone a long time ago. That allure is so promising. And, you trade it in a simulator, it works out great. But when you get there and you try to trade on live, you find yourself in a world of hurt. The small cap stocks are, a lot of times, they're manipulated, they're pumped, and you got to make fast, quick decisions. And like I said, in the simulator, it's smooth sailing because you're going to get instant fills, and whatever price you put in, that's all it's got to do is hit that price. It doesn't matter whether there's shares to match it. When you trade live, there's got to be shares to match it, or else your order's not going through, or it's not going to fill. And that's where that disconnect comes in. So I like the mid cap stocks, the little slightly higher price stocks. I don't have to size up. I can go in with smaller size, and these moves don't move. Some do move fast, but not all of them move real fast. And so I could take, like Tuesday, I took 200 shares, and by the end of the day, made over $500 on just trading a couple hundred shares. So it's a lot safer. But that's the beautiful thing about trading, though, is, there's something there for everybody. There's a lot of people that love trading these small cap stocks, and, they can make them work. But for me, I'm just not real comfortable with them. All right, so I'll lock in my list for right now. CLVS, IQ, YNDX, and Facebook. And we'll see. We Monday and Tuesday, we didn't get any trades out of the gate. Monday, IBM was a good one. It just wasn't clean enough. I didn't have the confidence in the market to take it, but that one turned out great. That was one you could trade all day. And yesterday was just really, really slow. So today we'll look for a nice move out of the gate. And YNDX is giving it up already. And yep, you're right. Mid caps, they do a lot better in respecting trends. You do have some that are manipulated too. They're heavily institutional owned, and they're going to manipulate the price to benefit them. But that's where learning how to read price action and all of that comes into play. You got to be able to read price action and kind of make a determination. Now that even reading price action is not foolproof, but once you get it, 70% of the time, the stocks are going to follow that. Like I said, all stocks have some degree of manipulation in them. You have people that own these, the majority of this stock. They got enough money to manipulate the market to work in their way, and they do that. I always thought it was a myth, but then when you have some people, one of the mentors I have was an investment bank. He was a trader for an investment bank. A fund trader. He shared with me all of these secrets, that I share with y'all. And, when I heard Jim Cramer talking about how when he worked for a fund, how he was able to manipulate the price. They can't do it forever. If you got a ton of selling pressure, they can't fight it forever, but they can make it a bumpy ride so that it can benefit them before it actually makes the move. All right, guys, while we're waiting for the open, I'll bring my platform up, about 9:20 and just start marking levels on the charts that I'm going to be watching. But right now, we're just kind of, watching all of the stocks that we have on watch, looking at the price action as we're coming into the open. Watching what the market is doing. All of these are things that we do every morning as we're looking to attack the markets for that day. Oh yeah, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how much money that these traders that work for the investment banks like Goldman Sachs and all of them, how much money they have at their disposal. It's unreal. And then some of the larger funds, They have a lot of money at their disposal. All right, so let me do this while we're waiting. Just so you guys know, I tell you guys every day, but just to kind of put it in writing so you could see. This is the schedule that I have to follow every day. So, between 6:45 and 7:15, I'm gonna open, the room up. Trade ideas starts populating at 6:45. So doing it earlier doesn't really make that much sense. But anywhere between 6:45 and 7:15, I'm going to do it. Sometimes I'm in the middle of a mentor session, and I don't get to open it up until after 7. But typically that's where it is. From 7:15 to 8:15, I'm not here. I'm on the road taking my son to school. And, from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, that's when we're building our watch list. And if there's only like 1 or 2 stocks on the scan, I may not come on until like 8:45 or something. If we just don't have anything to watch or look at, we're kind of wasting our time. So I'll wait and give the market a little bit more time. See if we can get any stocks that have, build up some volume and all of that. And then, between 9 and 9:30, like we're doing now, we're preparing for the open. Just watching the stocks that we have on watch, watching the market, see if anything, takes off. Sometimes I'm listening to the news. Sometimes I'll play my music, get pumped up. Just getting ready for the open. And then 9:30 to 11 is my morning trading session. Now, I'll go to lunch at 11 because what was happening with me was between 11 and 12:30, I was getting in a lot of trouble. And, the market may have turned because now there's some good moves, after 11 or between 11 and 12. But I want to come back and be watching the market coming out of lunch because that's when some of the moves are going to start. You may see some things start to position. So coming out of lunch, that's when I want to be here. Sometimes I'll come back at 12:30. But really, that lunch hour is flexible. Because if the market is volatile and it's on fire, I'm not going anywhere at 11. I may be here till 12. That's happened a couple times. Yesterday, I should have stayed. I shouldn't have taken off early. That was just a whole big mistake. I talked about that in the video. I'm not going to go back through that again. But typically, that's when I'm at lunch. So sometimes I forget to post the icon that I'm gone, but, I try to remember to do that. And then from 12:45 to 2:45, that's my afternoon trading session. Sometimes if I'm in a trade or working something, I'll be here till 3. That's kind of the latest I can leave. But what happens is that puts me at the back of the pickup line, and I get caught up behind buses and all of that, and I don't get back in time to get earnings. My goal is to get back here by 3:45 so I could be prepared for earnings announcements, and take some of those trades that I like to take. But the last 2 days I've got back too late, well after 4. So it's just too late. I'm not going to rush to be prepared. If I'm not prepared, I'm not going to just rush in there. But and sometimes I have to take my laptop, and while I'm sitting there in that line, manage some positions. That's kind of what I had to do Monday. So, yesterday I was out of the game before that opportunity even came about. But for those of you who don't know, this is my schedule pretty much every day. Now tomorrow, my son has a half day, so when I go to lunch, I'll pick him up, and I'll be here, till about 4:30, and then we have parent-teacher conference. So, I won't have to leave tomorrow. So there are days where, things are going to be different. Or when he's out of school, that changes up my schedule. I can be here, and I may be able to take a pre-market trade or two. So just have to take advantage of the openings that I do have. See, this scan is filling up. She's filling up. Yeah, we got, let's see. Oh, let me type this in for you guys. I'm watching Facebook, YNDX, CLVS. YNDX and what's the other one? Oh no, I already got YNDX and IQ and CLVS. Now some of these small ones like CLVS may not really open up. It's gonna take a pretty decent amount of volume to get this one to open up. But IQ should give us a good opportunity. Facebook, if it sets up, should give us a good opportunity. YNDX as well has a potential to move. So we've got some pretty good opportunities here this morning. So we'll see. We'll see, said the blind man. Yeah, GM. I was looking at. GM is one that we used to look at when I was teaching. Because it was a automotive stock, and it just didn't. It never really moved for us. It has a higher float, and it just never gave us any of these good moves. But you never know, because GE did pretty good yesterday. I was surprised the move that it made. So that's why I didn't put it on my watch, because it completely shocked me. But you see, let's see, GM, it's just got a 1 billion share float, so it's not too bad. Too bad. But I would love for it to move, multiple points. And it just seems like there's not a whole lot of opportunity for it to do that. Let's see. Can't spell automatically. Let's see. Not so much IQ, but as you can see right now, Facebook is trading opposite the SPY. I was expecting it to trade, differently from the SPY yesterday. Because it it was his earnings day and thought we'd have enough volatility to move it in a different direction. But it's actually doing that this morning. You can see the SPY has pulled in and Facebook has been running up. So when these stocks have, their own catalyst acting on them, they will trade opposite the SPY. All right, thanks. All right, so let's get ready to rumble here. It looks like Facebook has just been running. It's been running away. But yeah, GM, I'll put that on one of my charts. It will be a secondary watch. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. So let's get logged in here. Let me see, we are 155.59 is the level it took out. Well, that's close enough. 153.60. That's close enough too. And freaking IQ is 1991. The next one isn't until, yeah, I can't even put it on there. Jeez, this is what just irks me about these stocks. I mean, now, what I've seen the last couple of months is right before the open, they just take up all of the trading range I had. They just eat it up. And then I have no trades at the open. Let me see if I can get the upper one in. Nope. That one's all the way up there. CLVS, I'm not all that crazy about right now. Yeah, I watch RSI. But I use the extreme. You know, I use 80-20 versus 70-30. So yeah, I do watch the RSI. Absolutely. All right, we are off and running. Oh boy. See, YNDX, IQ is just flat freaking gone. Man, it took up all of my doggone trading range before it even. Man, that sucks. There was the first target right there. It's already there. I already took it out. Already took it out. Oh, Facebook is coming back in quick. Yeah, sometimes waiting this first
a
couple of minutes is like pulling teeth. But I've tried chasing stocks down like IQ. If it starts to take off, I've tried chasing them down, and only it to turn around and run back up and blow me up.
SQ.
So if we can get a bounce on this, run back up and test the resistance up here again, I'll be interested in trying to take this.
FEYE.
Ba, ba, ba. Yep, everything kind of looked crazy here for a minute. So this one just got really ridiculous. Got really ridiculous here. So I'll wait, see if we get a bounce on this and a rejection. I may look to run into that. But it's gonna need to be a little bit more solid in what I'm seeing now. For IQ, yes. Oh, I'm not in Speed Trader, so here's Sure Trader. It had IQ and CLVS. Oh, I didn't type in YNDX. See if there's any. Yeah, no restrictions on anything, which is why I like to trade. Which is why I like to trade these mid cap stocks. Yeah, but GM is sitting right on the level at 35.38. That's what I'm concerned with GM.
DDD.
Yeah, GM has a level at 35, 38 that it's sitting on. It's just, I don't like GM, right, because it's just so much traffic under it. You got 1, 2, 3, and then the 50.
DDD.
See, this one, this price action is what's keeping me out of this thing. Let me see if I can try to get, it's going to be tricky to get in this thing on SSR. Yeah, it's just too far down. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Man, nothing is really moving for me right now. Yeah, Facebook is kind of in its 5-minute opening range here. That's the low.
DDD.
And that's going to be the high right up here, this 155, 57 level. So it's kind of trading in its range still. YNDX just broke through there. So just broke through all of this resistance. So I needed to pull back here. Doesn't have a whole lot of volume though. That's what I'm concerned about right now.
DDD.
Oh man, look at that thing go. Okay, here's this was a pre-market high right here. Looks like it ran right to that.
YUMC.
Alright, looks like GM just woke up. And that's the opening range high right there. What I'm concerned about, see how it wicks above this level here and it just can't hold it. Kind of what I'm concerned about there. Yeah, IQ, we're making that move back up the VWAP and the 9 here. Let's see what we can do with it. Alright, so it's going to continue to push up some more, it looks like. Our long lost buddy, CLVS. There's the pre-market low. So this is kind of too that's kind of close. This is the actual 5-minute opening range low right down here. So we gotta kind of wait and see. You gotta wait and see what this thing is gonna do. Are we gonna blast through this or what? Or is it gonna get held up here? Christian, what stock are you talking about? I kind of missed it. As far as how do I determine it's too far down? Oh, IQ. I'm looking at my first target here, which is this is the opening range low. So this is kind of where my first target would have been. So now it's kind of setting up the way I want it to. So if we can get, if this rejects and if it confirms, meaning we reject this and we get a lower low, then that would trigger me to enter. Alright, so waiting, see what this is going to do. And I hate it when we got both of these setting up at the same time. You know, it's like, which one are you going to take? Which one are you going to take? All right. Oh, crap.
CLVS.
I had the wrong price tag there. It was supposed to be 1933. But it still may work out. We'll see. We need to get it through this level here.
YNDX.
You know, this is the pre-market low. It's got to get through there. But even if I had I thought I had 1933, but I had 1923. But this trade is not going to work if we can't get through. If we can't get through this, the pre-market low set here. This is solid intraday support. So it's got to get through there. And it may have to work its way down. We'll see. Yeah, see, IQ needs to do the same thing that CLVS did. Break through this pre-market low. It's got to do the same thing. If it can't do it, it's going to die. And I was trying to pick between the two. CLVS had already kind of broken through that, so I went with kind of the fresher move. So we'll see if it's going to pay off or not. But it is struggling right now. I don't know why. I could see if it gets down 10 more cents and it starts to struggle here. Because you've got this and then you've got 19. would be a
YNDX.
level of support. Yeah, everything on the ass disappeared. It's just getting eaten up, which is definitely concerning.
CLVS.
Well, let's see if we can get everybody to jump up and down. I mean, CLVS is making a nice move. I want to see it make the same kind of move.
GIs.
Come on now, let's take out 1903. Be a nice boy. Okay, that's the low right there, 1903. YNDX was the perfect trade. You know what? I can't see this. I can't see these numbers here.
Billy.
YNDX was the trade. That was the opening range trade. That's pretty much like it's what I have to say every day. We've got a watch list. One or two of these stocks are gonna do it. CLVS did it. YNDX did it. Trying to get IQ to do it. It's working, but it's struggling.
GIs.
It's found some support here, and it's just not letting it go. Yeah, this blind support is what dooms me every time. That blind support.
YNDX.
This is the kind of trade that makes my hair go gray. Alright, so I'm gonna have to kill it. Gonna have to kill it. Give it a little bit more time. I guess it was too much to ask to give me a smooth move like CLVS.
YNDX.
Guess it was too much to ask. a close over the 9 in the VWAP means I'm dead. I'm done. See, that's on the 2 minute.
YNDX.
I mean, we've got some nice selling pressure, but
YNDX.
I don't know. Need a 9 to keep coming down. Keep putting his hand on it. Yeah, the potential is just so great. It's just got to break through this support. And if they're not going to let it go, they're not going to let it go. I mean, it just is what it is.
YNDX.
I don't know why I like this. For some reason, I like to pick those stocks that people just don't want to let make its move. I don't know why. And YNDX is just absolutely beautiful. That's good, Martha. That is good. I just don't think there's any range on GM. I just don't think there's any range on it. You know, maybe 40 cents back and forth. But that's why I took that chart off. Because it just didn't see any range. Man, I tell you. Damn, this don't look bullish. I don't want to put my stop out here and then it turns around and nails it. But I mean, look at it, and this is what I'm looking at. Look at all of this downward pressure on this stock. No, all of this downward pressure on this stock. Yeah. I mean, it may take me out, and I may have to re-engage if it goes up here and test the 20. My line in the sand is 1975. And I bet you, now watch, as soon as I put it out, watch it run up there and tap it. And then it's going to start to work. It sucks, man. There's so much freaking range on this stock. I don't know why it stabbed me in the back like this. Yep. You're right. It's like a chess match. You know, they anticipated. They did a good job anticipating what I was thinking anyway. Probably wasn't the only one thinking it. Man, I thought I seen it all. Yeah, the one that really made a good move, opening range move, was on YNDX. That one made a really solid move.
GIs.
Yeah, you're right. SSR is hurting this thing. It is killing it. All it needed to do was get below that 19, and it would have been really nice. I was looking for it to do, I would have been better off, going in with 500 shares, catching this CLVS down to 12. That would have been a lot better trade. But the winner from the watch list this morning was YNDX. That's the ultimate winner this morning.
GIs.
You can see, once you get a stock to break through its pre-market high or low, you get a really decent move. Really decent move.
Guild.
So an uneventful morning for me. But I'm not giving up. I'm not giving in. It's too early in the day. But it's funny. Usually the mornings are my strongest. But lately, afternoon has been where the money's been coming in. Afternoon and the aftermarket earnings plays. So that's been interesting. No, I started with $1,000 in it. We went back to $1,000, which almost killed me. I don't think I ever want to do that again. But I try not to look at it during the week. I can figure it in my head. But I should be around 3,300. Well, I think starting with $1,000 and then the summer, the tough summer months, that made it that much more tougher. If the summer hadn't been as bad as it was, it probably would have been a lot better experience.
Guild.
But we're slowly growing. That we had a real nice trade Monday. Gave some of it back yesterday. And don't want to keep giving back. I don't want to start out good and then end up break even at the end of the week. I don't want to do that. And YNDX it didn't pull all the way back. It did have a healthy pullback, but it didn't pull all the way back like we want to see. Man. Very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. It's kind of hard to say why some stocks make better breakout. It just depends on who's in it and what side of the trade they're on. There are people that are going to defend it if they don't want it to get below a certain level, and they're going to defend it to the death. And that's kind of what we saw on IQ. They were not going to let it go. And they just ate up everybody that was selling there. But then you look at CLVS, and CLVS seemed like it had, less of a chance to make a bigger move, but it made a good move. No, Glenn, I've never tried that. I mean, you try to read, you try to read the price action, and a lot of times that's going to tell you whether something is, going to be manipulated or not. You can tell, you can see the fighting taking place.
CLVS.
And yeah, probably should have taken it off when I saw that. You know, a lot of times I do just take the trade off when I see all that infighting. But, you know, I gave it a chance. I mean, it just blew through the 20 like it wasn't there. No respect at all. So it's just, it's what we have to deal with, you know, as traders. There are times where you're going to find the one or you're going to pick the one that's going to make those huge moves, and then there are times where you don't. It's like with GM. You know, GM had a high float, and it had all of these levels tight around it. It was like there just was no room for it to breathe. So for me, that's not a stock I would put on my watch, because it doesn't seem like it has enough room to go anywhere. And, you know, IQ showed it had a lot of promise. It had a big range that it could get to, you know, if we cleared that level. And that's what, you know, made me take it. Because you can look at, you know, like here's, you know, you can see here's GM. You know, look at all of the garbage in there. And it's just trading in between all of this support and resistance. You can see the deviation bands close in on it. There was just no way for that thing to get out of that trap. But then I look at IQ. There we go. Things taking forever. Then I look at IQ and look at the window. Look at the window under 19. So how can you not look to trade that window? Now, yeah, the smart thing to do was probably wait until it got under. But, you know, we had a good place we could base our risk off of anyway.
TWLO.
You know, we had a good place we could base our risk off of, you know, up here on this rejection. And so I was looking for it to do the same thing that CLVS did.
CLR.
So I was looking for it to do the same thing. You see what CLVS did. You know, it just broke through. But I just thought IQ would have more potential.
TPR.
So I may be a little done here for the morning. Like I said, afternoon has been where the money was for me for the last couple of weeks. So I'll be looking to tackle it.
CLR. GPR.
Yeah, I thought IQ had some more in the tank. On that rejection, I really thought it had some more in the tank. But the thing is, I had my line in the sand. I didn't let it cross it. Had I let it cross my line in the sand, I'd be in a lot of pain right now. Yeah, I may look at doing that.
GWLO.
Kind of like I did the last time where,
GPR.
when TVIX was kicking pretty good and I kind of popped in. I just can't announce it, ahead of time. It's just gonna, you guys are just, if you subscribe, it'll
CLR.
pop up that I am. So for sneak peek Wednesday, I may do the morning and then, pop back in after lunch. I may look at doing that. If the market is setting up, I can do that, and we can that way I don't have to. If there's nothing working, then I don't have to pop in. Don't have to waste your time. But the main thing about the morning is that, what I want to get across is, consistency in your morning, doing the same thing over and over again. And yeah, the one out of CLVS, IQ, YNDX, FB, we had two that worked pretty good. YNDX and CLVS, they did real good. Facebook never really materialized. It never really did much. Now, it doesn't say I can't do it later on, but so far it just hasn't done anything. And then you see with IQ. So it's just a matter of picking the right one. It's all a matter of, you got your watch list, trying to read the price action to determine which one you feel is going to give you the best opportunity, and then you attack it. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, make sure you have your line in the sand drawn, so you don't go out there, losing everything. of not wanting to be wrong. That's what kills a lot of people is not really wanting to be wrong.
NCR.
No, I wouldn't. I would not trade two opening range trades at one time. You'll rarely see me with two different trades going at the same time. If I do, one of them is on the back end that's on autopilot, meaning I've already taken profit once or twice, and I just have my stop and my profit target in, and I'm not actively watching it. Then I would take another trade. And I'll have two trades on. Nah, the volatility is not here today to trade TVIX. Not the way I like to trade it. Yesterday, if you saw the difference in the price action from Monday to Tuesday, you'll see the days that you don't really need to trade TVIX. For me. Now, people short this volatility. Like in Speed Trader, I can short TVIX. So I could go both ways on it. But, I don't really like to short it. I like to go long when the market's selling off. Because typically the market will have a smoother sell-off than a run-up. So nah, don't really trade UVXY. Now I have shorted VXX. I have done that, but oh no, I doubt market makers. They don't have to follow anybody. They set the tone. They have people, they have analysts that can just sit and they can identify trends and patterns and things like that, just pretty much like what we do. They have analysts that can figure that stuff out for them. But they don't, I doubt very seriously if they, visit communities. I mean, they could if they really wanted to. But the thing is, there's only so many strategies out there, and people just trade a variation of the same thing. It's just like the opening range trade. The only difference between what I do and what other people may do is they may trade off a faster time frame. They may trade off the 1 minute or 30 seconds and just catch the move at the open.
TWLO.
and then shut it down. You know, a lot of them can just do that. Yeah, I typically it all depends on how much money I have, you know, how much capital I have as to what my max loss amount per trade. When I was smaller, you know, it was $50. When I started, it was $50 per trade. Then it got up to 100. Um, that's kind of where I'm at now, is 100. But when I get in a situation like IQ today, it didn't make any sense for me to put the stop below the 20. You know, so I just put it a couple of cents above the 20, which, you know, had me incur a little bit more loss, but, you know, the stop has to make sense. You know, just putting it some random place is just doesn't work. My main scanner after the morning, you know, after the opening volatility is going to be reversal scan
Grow.
and RSI extreme. Reversal scans, we can catch reversals on, you know, a stock changing direction, and then the RSI extremes, a lot of times I can get continuation moves off of it. Well, the small risk, it actually hurts, but you're trading a small account. And, you know, I've said it over and over again. It is so much easier to trade a larger account because your hands aren't cuffed. And, you know, trading a small account, your main focus is to grow. You know, you're not trying to make a living. You're not trying to pay bills out of it. You're just trying to grow your account to the point where you can get, you know, a traditional fully funded account. You know, that's all you're doing. You know what? And that's where people, I think, get confused when they go in looking at SureTrader. That's not a broker you're going to stay with. You know, that is not a broker that you're going to want to stay with. This is one that you're going to have to use to, you know, as a means to an end. You got to use it for what it's worth. My risk in my large account just depends on the trade, the strategy, the setup. You know, because I have, you know, I've got really, you know, I've got a lot of room I can work with. All right, you're welcome. See, and honestly, you know, just to be truthful, it's really difficult to keep the right mindset during this process, because obviously you're in this to make big money, and then you see other people posting, that they made this, they made that, they made this amount, and you're sitting here saying, I'm just not happy making, $75 to $100 a day at this point. I'm just not happy doing it. But what you're not seeing is what that is in relation to your account.
Send.
So, yeah, 500 and some dollars is not a whole lot. But if you have a $3,000 account and you make $500 in one day, that's 16%. You grew your account by 16%. That's what you're looking to do. You've got to grow your account to the point where not only do you have the capital, but by the time you have the capital, you'll have the skill. No, I don't think more people will make it if they start with a larger account. Because whether you have a small account or a large account, what matters is whether you have developed the skill, the patience, and the discipline that you need to be successful. You can have $1 million account, but if you have no skill, no discipline, no patience, you're never going to make money. You're just going to keep giving it up. Now, yeah, you get lucky and hit a trade once or twice, but that's it. I had a guy this summer who got frustrated, said he was tired of making peanuts, but he was consistently putting peanuts in his account, but he got tired of making it. So he decided to go somewhere where they was making all of this money. And the first trade over there, he was like, man, he got fortunate and made, over $3,000. But by the end of the first week, he had lost it all and then some. Then over the course of the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, he lost all the money that he had made in here and then some in a matter of 3 weeks. All the money that it took him, 6 months to make was gone in a matter of weeks. And it's all because you went chasing. You didn't really have the skill. And you were following people that were saying they were making all this money. Then you realize what they're doing, there's no way they can do it. So, but it cost him his whole account. Yep, and it's gone. Well, in the beginning, you can't really worry about commissions. That's just something you can't really think about when you're trying to get your feet wet. Once you get your feet wet, you understand how to get in and out of trades, how to spot the setups and the confirmation and all of that. Then you slowly increase your size, but then now you're looking for moves. You already were looking for moves that can pay the bills. So once you increase your size in your trade plan, you just take into account how much commissions are going to cost. And say in SureTrader, I rounded up to $15 a round trip. I know it's closer to 12, but I just rounded up to $15. And when I round it up, when I make my trade plan, I'm going to make sure that $15 is going to be taken care of in that trade. So that when I do make money, commissions aren't going to eat it up. So if I'm looking for, the potential $100 or $120 trade, commissions aren't going to even matter. But if I'm looking for a $40 or $50 move, that's when commissions start mattering. And then you start getting upset because you had 3 trades at $50 and you should have made $150. But, commissions take $50 out of it and you only got 100. Well, number one, you trade, with a small account, and trading, when you have to pay that $3.95 or $4.95 per trade commission, you can't overtrade like that. You can't look for multiple 50-cent moves or 30-cent moves. You got to look for that one stock that has a potential to move multiple points. And you latch on to it. And there's something that you do that, you can trade it all day. And you get 1 or 2 of those a week, you're in good shape. You're in really good shape. Well, I'm glad, Wade. We're going to get you to where your trading is not reckless. Because once you establish your strategy, there's so many different strategies you can trade with, but the main thing is being disciplined. Having patience to allow your trade plans to work, and being disciplined to actually make a trade plan before you get in. And yet, your trades aren't going to work all the time. But if you, have your risk in place and you don't let being wrong or a bad trade mess with your head, you can always end the day, back green. Yeah, but now in our webinar today, we're gonna talk about fear and greed, but we're gonna kind of focus on greed. Man, GM has surprised me today. It slowly made like a 80 cent move. Usually it's only about 40 cents. Yeah, over trading will definitely kill you. I've been watching CLVS. I've been sitting here watching it for the last 15 minutes, trying to see if it's going to be worth getting in, but it's lost volume. It's just not there. It kind of looks like it's building up the pop, but you can see how the price action is slowed down. That usually means a change in momentum. So I just kind of stayed away from it for right now. But definitely been keeping my eye on it. Y'all ready to go out, doggies? We had a little scalp opportunity on TVIX, but nothing major. No way I would trade it with this price action. And you can't find your trading platform. That might be a good thing. Might be a good thing today. I'm coming. Hold on, let me open the door. Alright, go. Go. Come here, girl, that way. Porky pig. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off, but if we get something this afternoon, if the afternoon kind of turns up to be volatile, I'll definitely pop back in. So we'll see if the afternoon is going to bring us any good trading. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for hanging out this morning. Whether we trade or not, or whether we win on a trade or not, it's all about trying to teach you what it's really like to be a day trader and the things that you really have to deal with. It's not pretty, and it doesn't sell subscriptions, so people don't focus on that. But that's the real part that we have to deal with being a day trader. All right, guys, you're welcome, and I will see you later on if something pops up. I'll catch you guys later on today.